Welcome to Clarion Content, Sights on the City.
We're laughing at each other because I sort of strung Aaron out this week. We're talking about traffic and development. We are around the 9th Street area right now, listening to the construction go up near us, and also looking at some of the old buildings that have been there forever, and talking about how that mixture is sometimes a bad cocktail, particularly with regards to traffic. And then I strung Aaron out because I like to drive fast.
Yeah, this guy got here super mad, 5 minutes late. It was such a tragedy. He transfers all this traffic anger to me. Then I start talking about gridlocking and jaywalking. He's like, well, you know.
Jaywalking is beautiful. I love to drive fast and tailgate. It's what I do. So
I'll tell you what's beautiful is Heavenly Buffalo's right behind us. All the stuff that we get to talk about on the calendar. We found out 6 degrees of separation. Our buddy Josh Hart here is recording for our dear friend Ellen Chiampe's Cabaret this Saturday. Also in our overall world, if you haven't seen our 21C episode yet, where we got to go behind the scenes, see the vault up to the top, the penthouse. It's a museum more than it's a hotel. It's a great gift to Durham.
Yeah, if you have been in 21C and want to get the inside story, watch our last episode.
Yeah, and next week we'll be in Dashi Ramen. Durham, the hits just keep on coming. We love this town. We're glad to curate it for you. Chris Vitiello on Twitter, Vitiello, Chris Vitiello. Made with Heart, Josh Hart behind the camera. You can subscribe to the Clarion Content YouTube channel. Check out our main Clarion Content media site. You know the rest. Instagram. We've got it all. Follow us. We're happy to curate your city, Durham.
Sounds good.
Generally, I think the whole 2.5 degrees of separation, plus the theme about traffic and all of that whatnot.
Oh yeah, well, I mean,
our morning's worth of that
it's
stuff.
It's weird. It's like I was thinking. I used to hang out on 9th Street. I used to work at the cafes that were up there. I used to work at Blue Coffee and whatever it was after it was Blue Coffee, and
Bean Traders?
down in the basement at Bean Traders. I really liked that
and
space.
Then what did they call it after
well, now
Bean
it's going to be now it's changed hands.
I can't remember. 4 or 5 times since then.
No, I was just like, I just want to go in and sit down in the basement because it's cubby. But I really don't go to 9th Street anymore. I go to the Regulator because you go to your local
bookstore.
But I used to spend a lot of time here, and honestly, I used to live really close enough that my daughters and I would walk up here. But we're downtown people now. We go downtown for stuff. If we need something to eat, if we need coffee, if we need to go to Letters, we like to wander around downtown. They like downtown. And it's weird because it's sort of like that suburban phenomenon where you like the mall, but then there's a new mall and you don't go to the old mall anymore.
Right.
It looks real shabby to you. There's a kind of shabbiness to the old 9th Street corridor, and then yet. I know. I mean,
don't get everybody angry at us before we even start, Chris. Shabbiness.
Shabbiness.
I know what you mean.
When you place it next to the shiny new stuff, it is inevitable.
Absolutely.
Suddenly you're like, wow, that red canopy is grungy. I didn't notice that before. Until this other place put up their red canopy.
Yeah, you put Juju across from it and it's gleaming.
Yeah, you put anything next to 21C and it's going to look shabby. Anything. So it's interesting to see how we're getting some new development. I mean, we're hearing hammers in the background right now as we're talking of this monstrosity.
Hopefully you can hear
9th
us.
Street North. And right behind us is ADF's building, which is fairly new construction within the last couple of years.
On Broad Street.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, this is an interesting sort of front line for Durham mixed development happening with no plan.
Yeah, I think that's the perfect claim, or the perfect line. It is the front line, and welcome to the Clarion Content Sights on the City. Chris Vitiello, my partner in crime here. Josh Hart behind the camera, grabbing windy screens and other things.
We're blustery March day.
Yeah, we're sitting outside Heavenly Buffalo's, which, as Chris said, we're on Iredell and Markham, I want to say here. is kind of on the front lines of New Durham development. You know, you get outside the downtown loop, and I used to hang out over here all the time too. Our office for the Clarion content for a long time was on Broad Street, 1005 Broad Street, across from Joe Van Gogh and the Craven Allen Gallery and the florist who's up there. And yeah, I'm not on this side of town nearly as much as I used to be either. And
yeah, it's just different.
I think maybe that's a mistake on my part, because I still think of Dane's as one of the top burgers around. And, you know, for a while, Sustainable Durham's offices were inside the Regulator, so I was over there for that. And that coffee shop, like you said, that changed hands so many times. And, I mean, Bonds, I should go to Bonds every Wednesday and get Vietnamese, you know, that I can. Yeah. What's wrong with me, you know? And he's one of the great dive spots around here. And I think it'll be interesting, as you said. We look at this, I don't want to say monstrosity, but it's certainly out of character for the neighborhood. It's 6 stories worth of, you know, where Biscuit King used to be, across from the White Star Laundry, and it just looks so big, you know, across from Dane's Indian or what have you. It just, it looks out of place to me. And I guess, you know, change is inevitable. Like Josh is from Chicago, I'm from the, you know, North Jersey area. Change happens, but I guess this will be one of those front lines where it'll be up to us to control what kind of change happens. And, you know, there's a lot of issues with that change. We were having this conversation earlier off camera about traffic and pedestrians.
Oh yeah, I mean, you put 6 stories or 4 stories of condominiums in there. Everybody's got at least one car in that household, and I mean, they have a huge parking deck, lovely concrete slab building, real nice to look at. It's sort of, you know, post-Ceausescu Romanian development aesthetic.
That is so good. Yes, that's what's wrong with modern American mass development. Is it looks like the freaking Soviet bloc. We won this fucking war. What are we imitating their architecture for? Please get out of here with your Woodcrofts and your Smallville sameness.
It's low cost, but I mean, all the people who are going to park there are going to be pouring out of that deck at the same time. All the people in there are going to be arriving home from work at the same time. It means that when you're crossing the street to go to Elmo's with your kids, you're going to have a steady stream of Priuses bearing down on you as people are scooting in and out of their condo complex. It's just the traffic increase when you start to actually put people living in all of these condo developments is substantial, and it is dangerous.
Yeah, and I totally agree. And we had some sad news that we heard about with a high school kid or a middle school kid in your daughter's class.
Yeah. You know, a high school student fatally struck over the weekend crossing Duke Street this past week. You know,
I mean, just tragic. And we don't really know the details, but let me tell you, we both agreed off camera, and Josh too, that there's a volatile traffic mix here right now. There's people who grew up driving in the Northeast and Chicago who are very aggressive. You know, there's tons of pedestrians, which is new. There's people who grew up driving in one stoplight towns, you know. Then there's all these bikers and bike lanes that are not totally respected by everyone, that get parked by cars, and our bikers are confident like we're Portland, and they're jetting across. What did you say? Didn't you see something with a biker too in the last few days?
Oh yeah, a biker, you know, with headphones coasting through a four-way stop, not stopping. All the cars actually obeying the four-way stop, and a near collision there. You know, and I see a lot of ghost bicycles all around the Triangle, not just in Durham. But
and it's a real bad mix, and people need to pay attention. Like, we'll give you a little public service announcement here on what jaywalking is and how to use a crosswalk, but it's for real, people. You can't keep stepping out between cars on Duke Street, Mangum Street, Corporation. People are gonna, you know, the DIY district is beautiful, but I don't want to see the first person run over outside a Motorco or Full Steam. God forbid, maybe I don't read the Herald Sun enough, and it's already happened, you know. But people cannot jaywalk the way they are down there. You got to walk to the corner and use the crosswalk and pay attention, for real.
But I don't know, jaywalking is one of the great joys of life at the same time.
All right,
Aaron.
well, slow down traffic, pay attention. Maybe the city needs to put a stoplight in at Motorco and Full Steam or something, because I seriously, pulling out of the Mercury Studio parking lot, the way people cruise down Gear Street, like,
yeah, well, that's absolutely true.
It's a cut through, it's fast. Just be careful. If you want to jaywalk, be really careful. And one more public service announcement while we're talking traffic gripes. You understand what gridlock is? I feel like as a public, we don't understand what gridlock is. briefly.
Well, what is gridlock, Aaron? Please tell us.
Briefly.
If you use your horn, it takes care of everything.
That is not a blanket solution. If your car cannot clear the intersection before the light goes red, that's gridlock. You must be able to pull your car all the way through the intersection, because if you can't, the traffic going in the other direction is unable to proceed. Yes, Chris.
It's going to be okay, Aaron.
It's funny because Chris was the one who was angry before we started filming. I think I've channeled some of your mover anger into my own personal traffic gripes. But we seriously be careful, and also stop freaking gridlocking the intersections, people. If you can't get across, don't go.
I don't know what to say to that. I think, I don't have a problem maybe being in the intersection. I understand everybody's in a hurry. But, at the same time, I get upset when people are driving too slow and getting themselves, strung out in the middle of nowhere, or holding me up, or this and that. It's kind of crazy. Yeah,
and I need to preach the tolerance, because the traffic raising my blood pressure. I'm only 2.3 miles from my office. I ought to just be biking in and not getting quite so keyed up about the traffic. But I do think it's changed in downtown Durham, and whether you're a pedestrian, a biker, a driver, a resident, or whatever, I'd love to see everyone be careful. And I'd also love to see us continue the conversation about intentional development over here on 9th Street. What's going on with these buildings, what's going on Broad Street, what's the future hold. And I guess if you want to continue the conversation with us, next week we're going to be shooting in Dashi Ramen, which we're really excited about.
Yeah, noodle bowls.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
Thank you very much.
Yes, namaste. But also we will be talking that development tip again, because Dashi Ramen, right out their front window, City Hall is being redeveloped inside the downtown loop. The 1930s water main is being replaced, and much of these construction issues are ongoing and very much affecting people's daily lives for issues bigger than traffic. So we're looking forward to seeing you again soon. We'll be back with some calendar. Follow us on the Clarion Content YouTube channel. Check us out at clarioncontentmedia.com. Chris on Twitter at Chris Vitiello, Vitiello. Josh at Made with Heart. We curate your city, Durham, and we're happy to do it. Saturday night, yes, there is a wonderful, outside the usual radar tip. Ellen Ciampi is going to be performing cabaret songs with Glenn Merbach and I believe Robbie Link on bass. It's actually at a Unitarian Universalist church in Chapel Hill. You can find it on the Clarion Content calendar. It's a rare opportunity. Cabaret, if you think of it like the Fabulous Baker Boys, that alone probably would get you interested, or Chicago or that kind of thing. But she's got just this buttery, wonderful voice about her that recalls like kind of a Judy Garland sort of era. So that's this Saturday night. You'll probably be watching it today if it's a last minute thing for you. At the Unitarian Universalist Church, it'll be on the Clarion Content calendar.
Next Tuesday, our own guy behind the camera, Josh Hart, and his Triangle Community Film Organization, they have a Tuesday night event at Spectre Arts. What is Tuesday, the 31st?
Yeah, 31st.
Tuesday the 31st, 7 o'clock. Doors open at 6. It's actually going to be outside in the Spectre Arts patio area, which is so lovely just to hang out in.
Dress for that, though, if it's warm or whatever, or cold, either way. Dress for the outdoors.
Yes, wear a sweater.
Jewish mother sweater alert.
But it's going to be terrific. 7 short films by Triangle area filmmakers, all women. There will be the films range from just a couple minutes to, I think the longest one is about 15 minutes. Q&As with the filmmakers after each film. So it's going to be a great night to learn about not just 1 or 2 great filmmakers in the area, but a whole bunch of them. Not to be missed, 7 o'clock, Tuesday night, the 31st of March, Spectre Arts.
Tuesday. And if you're looking for Monday plans, on Monday there's always the pop-up chorus at Motorco now, which is killer. Also Monday, it's like their bookends, Motorco and Pinhook. The open mic nights Monday at Pinhook, crushing it. You want to see some young Durham hip-hop talent on the come-up? That's where it's at. And you've got some long-range stuff for us?
Yeah.
I got a couple of April things.
Talking about film sort of out into the future, we're getting into festival season. Festivals start kicking around in April. First up, the full-frame Documentary Film Festival, which takes over downtown April 9th through the 12th. Lots of great, something like 100 films. I've been looking at screeners because I'm writing about it for a couple publications. And a lot of films by local folks. There's a terrific film called Cairo in One Breath by Anna Kippervesser that I'm really excited about. She's actually just finishing up the MFA Experimental Documentary Arts program at Duke, so there are student filmmakers. Another film, the Lanthanide series, which is sort of an experimental documentary, formally experimental, but really fascinating, by a filmmaker who teaches at Duke, Erin Espily.
Awesome.
She's actually a fantastic writer too. But I mean, it would take us all afternoon to tell you about these films.
And if you want to figure out a way to kind of hear some of the summary of those films, the Clarion content this weekend, we'll be interviewing Lindsay Gordon Ferrata,
awesome.
the director of marketing for the Full Frame, for our podcast. So you can catch our film expert, Ned Phillips, aka the Cosmic Gangster, who's been making those short films with runaway clothes that are so dope. Check those as well on our site. He will be interviewing along with Justin Laidlaw, Buddy Rusky, the marketing film person from the Full Frame, and she's going to talk us through many of the great films that Chris has already got, and even more.
Yeah, and one thing I know, the festival passes for Full Frame are already sold out.
That's true.
They sold out almost instantly. But you can get tickets to individual films.
Definitely.
And
there's always the
last minute line.
Yeah.
The last minute line works. If you're in the front of the last minute line, you will get in these festivals. So don't give up hope. But after Full Frame, the Art of Cool Festival is right after that. That's April 24th, 26th. Just fantastic. This is the second year that Art of Cool is up and running in Durham. You got jazz acts, soul, R&B, and just all the sort of peripheral genres of music around that.
Plus,
Again, all over town.
They do unbelievable collaborations. Like, you can look for a lot of small, interesting stuff happening, whether it's at Full Steam, Barlusconi, at the Full Frame Power Plant Theater. Like, if you look carefully into the Art of Cool's calendar, Cicely Mitchell has programmed it so well. There's something for everybody. And I think, it's just going to keep getting deeper. And from there...
Hold the weekend. Oh, and from there, the American Dance Festival just announced their schedule for the summer. That's, of course, a 6-7 week festival that spans June and July, but a lot of great stuff to look forward to. The second year of a program called NC Dances, which is a collaborative program, a main stage performance the ADF is collaborating with the North Carolina Dance Festival to stage 4 works by North Carolina-based choreographers. This time around, there are 2 local choreographers. Anna Barker and Leah Wilkes are presenting the piece that they debuted at Motorco in the fall. That was the first piece on the DIDA season. And then Shelley Comerford and her company are also performing a work in that NC Dances program. But lots of other stuff. There's another program that's, in fact, I need to look at my notes, called Dynamic Duos that I'm really excited about. It's a sort of new thing, ADF commissioning work where 2 major choreographers are collaborating on a piece that they will dance as a duet. I'm really excited about Rosie Herrera and Larry Keegwin in particular, because Rosie Herrera is awesome and just a fantastic person to talk to as well. And ADF, we aren't going to probably get this out in time for the ADF kickoff party that happens tomorrow night. Tomorrow night as we're speaking, not as you're watching. So it's in the past for you. But I think Rosie Herrera is going to be here dancing some excerpt of it for that party, which is absolute thrill. Can't wait to see that.
Fantastic.
So get ready to start hitting all the festivals. Full Frame, Art of Cool, ADF in the summer.
Yeah, if you're living in Durham, ask yourself if you're winning. Easy answer. Yes, you're winning. And we're super glad to be sharing it with you. We know that ADF is another one that looks out for the younger folks and the little guy, finding ways to do discount tickets for people under 30. I know they have a specific program for that. So if you're a young person and you're not sure whether or not you're interested in modern dance, ADF has your back. They're a cultural godfather around here for a great reason. You can go see them in all kinds of cool venues, and the modern dancers around here are awesome. Thanks, Durham. This is Chris Vitiello, my dear friend.
And Aaron Mandel.
Josh Hart behind the camera, made with heart to get his wonderful production. Check us out at ClarionContentMedia.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for the Clarion content. We have an Instagram, Twitter, every bit of social media you want us on. We're there for you because we curate your city, Durham. Glad to be here with you, Chris.